Saturday, fellow crafters and paper artisans. It's Chandra with Stockton Stuff. I'm so excited to bring to you today a tutorial on the design space software for the Cricut Maker. So often people worry about being able to work the machine, but the bulk of the knowledge that you need is in the software. You can download it and practice design space even before you buy your Cricut, which is what I did for several months. This video is part of a collaboration called Share It Saturday, where me and several crafters will share tips and tricks about using various cutting machines. If you're interested in the Cricut Maker, continue to watch my videos and come back every second Saturday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time for the entire year of 2021. I will try to do demonstrations that range from beginner to advanced, and if you have questions or something that you would like for me to demonstrate, please leave it each month below in the comment section, and I will try my best to get to it. Well, I have 11 more months, so I have plenty of time to get questions answered. Today, I will be demonstrating attaching, welding, and slicing in Cricut's design space. I have already uploaded my demo SVGs that I'll be using, and here is where I locate them, where it says my projects. So I'm going to click here, and hopefully my internet will be my friend today. Sometimes it is a little slow. And I just named the file January tutorial. So I'm going to double click there, and because I already have items saved, it gives me the option of customize or make it. So I'm going to customize it because I'm not ready to make it. I want to do some things with these files first. So you see I have 4 files here, and I think we're going to work with these 3 for sure, but we'll start with the Happy New Year. So I'm going to hide the rest of these. So I'm going to click on the T one, and over here on the right, see I went over on the right to this menu. I'm going to hit the, and actually if I had been paying attention, notice that it's a darker gray than the others, so that tells you which one is highlighted. So I highlighted that, the darker gray was here. I just moved too fast. So I'm going to hit the eyeball to say I don't want to see it. Basically, eyes you see it, across the eye you don't see it. And then I'm going to click the Girl Boss one, and I am going to come all the way up to the top of that one and hide that one. And then there's the Hocus Pocus, and it's gray down here below, and I'm going to hide that one. So what I want to do is, I'm going to move it to the center. What I want to do is I want to keep this SVG, but I need to change this to 2021. So I'm going to reuse my 2, and I'm going to reuse the 1. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is to ungroup this. Now, when it ungroups, it's ungrouping every letter. So I need to be very careful. I don't want to get anything out of line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the Happy New Year, and I'm going to regroup that. So I come back over to the right hand side and group that back together. Then I want to get rid of the 9. I don't need it, so I'm just going to exit out. I don't ever need it again because I don't need it for this project anyway. Then I'm going to highlight the 2 because I need to use it again, and I'm going to right click on it to duplicate it. Another way I could do it is click on it and come here, up here on the right at the top, and hit duplicate. So I'll do that since you can't actually see my mouse. Then I'm going to move my 1 over and try to keep it as lined up as possible and stick my 2 in there. And I'm looking at the other 2 to line it up, and I didn't quite get it right where it should be. I want to move it over a little bit. I need to move it up just a smidget more. And then I'm going to bring that 1 down and over. Then I'm going to group my 2021 just to make sure I like it. And then I'm going to regroup this whole thing over again. Now that it might be better to attach these because it will cut right in the order that it's in. If I had just attached them, it would have made these letters fit on the mat in the best way that it can. So I attach them so that they will cut exactly in this order, exactly in this way. All right, so I am done with this one. I am going to hide Happy New Year. And the next one that we'll do is the Hocus Pocus. So I'll slide back down. I believe it was towards the bottom. There it is. All right, so sometimes we cannot find the exact SVG that we want, or we find the SVG and we want to do something different with it. So I'm going to get rid of Hocus Pocus. And the way I'm going to do that is to weld. Now you'll notice that these are not highlighted or not darkened here because you have to have something selected. And so what I'm going to do, and I'm going to just move that to the middle again, I am going to go over here to the left and do a shape. Now, since this is pretty straight and narrow, I'm going to take the square, and first I'm going to unlock it, and I'm going to make it a little more rectangular because I see that I need a rectangle shape. And I am going to lay it right on top of there. Now I need to make it just a little smaller because I don't want it to mess with my edges here on my cauldron. So I'm going to lock it back, and then I'm going to just kind of mess with that sizing a little bit to make sure I have it nice and centered. All right, so once I do that, I come to the left corner and I highlight the whole thing, and if you notice, the weld darkened up for us. It became available. So I'm going to click weld, and there you can't even see the Hocus Pocus anymore. So it is all one dark cauldron. Now suppose I wanted to change the colors of the bubbles here coming out of the cauldron. Now I highlighted it, and you notice that ungroup did not, over here on the right, ungroup did not become available for me. So that means I'm going to have to slice it. So we'll slice again like we did in the Happy New Year, and my go-to slice is the square, but sometimes I have to use another shape to really get into where I'm going. I use the diamond when I'm trying to get into tight spaces. Like if I was going to cut this one out, I would perhaps use the diamond or the triangle to get in that tight space. But I think I'm going to use a circle this time, but I'm going to stretch it out so it's more oval, and I just want to take out these three, and I'm really just going to separate them is what I want to do, because I could just cut them in a different color, but first they're going to cut black, and then I'd have to cut them again. So especially when we're dealing with vinyl, we do not want to waste that. So I put my oval over those spaces. Again, I'm coming from the left and highlighting, and I actually don't have to highlight it all. Well, I will. Sometimes it gets finicky. And I didn't want to do it. Sometimes when we find, let me try square and see if that works. Sometimes when we buy or upload free SVGs, I don't know if they have some type of lock on them, or they're just really just a little finicky. It depends on how they're made. I'm assuming that it's just a little harder. There we go. So the square did work on this one, but I have used other shapes. All right, so it literally slices. So you see how that's out. So I don't need that. I'm Xing it out. Then what happens is, here's all these bubbles that got sliced out of that. So I don't need that either, but I could save it if I wanted extra bubbles. So I'm just going to leave it over here on the side. And then here are my bubbles that I sliced. Now, I do want to leave them. I'm going to cut them and add them back into my cauldron, but I want to change the color. So I'm going to, let's see if we can do that here. I am going to come up here to the left where you see this black dot, because right now they're black, and I'm going to click that, and other colors come up. So I'm going to make them green. Now, if I wanted to make them all a different color, what do you think I need to do? I'd have to slice these all separate. And I could do that now and just make them different colors. So we don't need this to be that big. I probably could get away with that. And see, it didn't like it again. Let's move this cauldron out of the way. Yeah, I was confusing it there. There we go. And we're going to take that out. And so now these I can change to, how about yellow? So we got some green and yellow yucky stuff coming out of that cauldron. And I could also do that one and make it a different color. But now it will show up, it will actually show up on 3 different mats, so that I can cut the 3 different colors if I wanted to, and not have to repeat the cauldron every time. So I can make these if I want and do some extra, and maybe I will have them kind of coming out in a different direction. Now, if I wanted these bubbles to cut just like this, and I didn't want to have to figure out what order or direction I wanted them in, I could, now let me show you this. I could group them, but these are a different color, so they're gonna print on different mats. If I want to make sure that these all print together, then I could, well, I think they will, because they already attached. But I'm going to show you this. If I say, okay, this is what I want, and I attach all of these, I'm going to lose the color in my bubbles. They're going to go back to black. But don't fret. Just like in Microsoft or any other program you work, there's always the undo button. So you just go back to the undo on the left. All right. So that's that one. And the last one, so I'm going to hide my bubbles and my cauldron. And the last one that I want to show you is already in here. So I am going to click it. Now let's take a look at the bar at the top. So I uploaded this. It is a huge SVG. Now I can't see it all on my screen because look at this width and height. So, and then it tells me where it is on my mat. But I want to take this down some, so I'm going to delete that 3 and see if 9 helps me. I don't usually have to change the other one, because once I change the first, all I need to do is click in there. So there it is. Hey there, QT. T. All right. So now it's a little more manageable. I still may take this down a little bit because it is it's about 10 inches. But if I was putting it on a shirt, this would be a great size. All right. And then the next one that I'm going to unhide is this teapot here. There we go. I want to ungroup these, but I want you to notice that the teapot is in 2 pieces. All right. So first I'm going to ungroup the whole thing. I don't want any of these words because I want to use that teapot on the other SVG. So I'm going to get rid of the T if it involves T. And notice that I regrouped them to get rid of them. Otherwise, I would have had to delete every letter one by one. And then you need to be careful because I don't want the teapot. See, there we go. That word, one word. So there we go. And then I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to attach the teapot because I don't want it to cut separate. I want it to be all together. Now see, if you notice, there is an opportunity for me to detach it, but I don't want to do that. All right, so I'm going to hide it for right now. I'm gonna play nice for some reason. There we go. Now, okay, there we go. Now, I want to make that a little bigger to fit there. And then I'm going to, let's see, is that center? There we go. And then I am going to group it all together. I could attach it because it's all black, but you know what? Let's wait. Maybe I won't make it all black. Let's make this teapot green. And maybe let's ungroup this and make and boy, I am not snatching it like I want to today. And I want to make the word T green as well. Now I chose this green up here because it tells me that that's the last green I use, so that I can make sure that they're the same color. And then I want to group these. Now, it would be smart for me to take this hey there and attach it, because it may take it and try to separate that out, and I don't want that to happen. And then I take the cute and I'm going to attach that. And then I can do the T and attach that, because I don't want those letters to print or cut out of order. All right, so I actually should have made sure, let's move this over a second. I should have made sure that the dash was in there. Or actually, you know what, I think I want the dash to be black, so I'm going to move it back over here. And I don't need to change the color, I just need to attach it because it will turn it black. Oh, it turned it green. Look at that. Well, I learned something. So let's do that. Black. There we go. Now I'm going to move it back over and up a little bit. And there we go. Now I'm going to group this. I'm not going to attach it. Now, I don't necessarily have to group it. I just like to do that because sometimes I like to see what it's going to look like on the t-shirt, and I'll use a template, but I'll show you that in a later video because I don't want this video to get too long. So there's the weld. We did welding, we did attaching, hiding, and color changes today. And there were some workarounds. I'm going to leave those in the video so that you can see that sometimes you just have to work around it. There's nothing you can do to harm it. You just have to keep going. So I want you to know that we are not all perfect, and sometimes we are constantly learning or having to figure things out. So thanks for watching.